Welcome to NBC World News from the heart of Houston, as presented by Nicole Jellica, Hilma Moses, Shona Brown, and Peter Olamigoke.
An international working group striving for safe dispense of chemical weapons said on Thursday, December 5th, they would prefer a port site for destruction of serious chemical weapons to the open sea. The United States has offered to destroy serious chemicals on the U.S. ship, but it has not yet found a suitable Mediterranean port where processing can be carried out. Craig Williams, director of Chemical Weapons Working Group, CWWG, told a news conference in the House there was no risk that the chemical weapons would be dumped in the sea, but warned that if the operation were to take place at sea, any kind of storm would throw the operation into disarray.
The press has noted that because it's going to happen on a ship, apparently, that it's going to be dumped in the ocean or dumped in the Mediterranean or some such foolishness. And obviously that's not the case. However, it could be a fact that it would be done on a ship, on the water. I'd prefer it to be in a port somewhere if that was possible, simply for the stability of the operation. I'm imagining this happening, having been all the sites in the United States, several in Russia and other places, being on a ship with all of these liquid materials in all of these different containers, and there being some sort of storm come up and everything starts moving around, and all it's going to take to thwart this very ambitious schedule, in my opinion, is one or two incidents on that ship, and it could inhibit the entire execution of the process.
The Organization for the Prohibition of Chemical Weapons, the OPCW, has been under pressure to find an alternative plan for the destruction of serious poison gas arsenal. Albania backed out of hosting the work. The OPCW said 35 firms had expressed an interest in bidding for commercial contracts for the treatment of about 800 tons of bulk industrial chemicals that are safe to destroy in commercial incinerators. But another 500 tons of chemicals, including nerve agents, are seen as too dangerous to import into a country or process commercially, and will be treated offshore on the U.S. ship. The OPCW said the operation would be carried out on a U.S. vessel at sea using hydrolysis, adding a naval vessel was undergoing modification to support the operations. The CWWG, whose mission is to work with decision-making bodies to ensure the safe disposal of chemical warfare and toxic material, said it was too key to involve experts from any early stage.
Something's going to have to be done in some country, somewhere on land. And wherever that country is and whatever that process is, in order to avoid significant potential schedule delays, my advice is to involve people early, involve them often, get them to buy into the process and take ownership, and have them feel as part of the global effort to get rid of these weapons.
The OPCW, which won the Nobel Peace Prize this year, has given the task of overseeing destruction of serious chemical weapons stocks under an agreement that averted U.S. missile strikes. It followed a sarin gas attack on the outskirts of Damascus in August, which killed hundreds of people.
Welcome to this segment. South Sudanese flee fighting after coup attempt. Around 16,000 people had taken refuge in UN compounds in Juba by noon on Tuesday, December 17th, and the numbers were rising, said the United Nations. This comes as South Sudan said it had arrested 10 senior political figures and was hunting for its ex-vice president, accusing him of leading a foiled coup in the oil-producing nation's capital, where gunfire rang out for a second day. The prominence of the names, including former Finance Minister Kosti Maribi, among the detained, underlined the size of the rift in Africa's newest state, less than 2.5 years after it succeeded from Sudan.
Before I have hope of my country, and actually now I have lost hope. And also because my people are killing themselves.
Another displaced man at the UN compound said,
I have just seen yesterday. The soldiers going to houses, they take our people from their home, and they kill them.
The United States urged its citizens to leave the country immediately, saying it was suspending normal operations at its embassy. Rival groups of the soldiers started fighting at Juba Sunday night into Monday morning, and gunfire and blasts continued sporadically up to Tuesday evening, leaving at least 26 people dead, and a health minister officially said. President Salva Kiir appeared on television on Monday in military fatigue, saying forces loyal to former President Rika Machar, whom he sacked in July, had attacked an army base in the bid to seize power. Another man at the UN compound pleaded with the South Sudanese leaders to stop fighting.
My message to all the South Sudanese, especially me, I love peace. I need this country to be a peaceful country, not just like this. If you look at the children, they are the future of this country. They are the future of the world. I don't know why people, they don't learn from mistakes. I don't know, they don't learn from some other leaders, like Nelson Mandela.
South Sudan remains one of the prominent, least developed countries in Africa for all its oil reserves, and is plagued by ethnic fighting fueled by weapons left after decades of war with Sudan to the north. A Canadian military helicopter has rescued a man who was trapped at the end of the construction crane as a fire raged below. The crane operator was stranded on Tuesday after a fire broke out in a large apartment building under construction in the city of Kingston, Ontario. Nobody is believed to have died in the blaze. Canadian Mayor Rob Ford apologizes again.
Were in context of my worst experiences with the incredible assault by media, and particularly the Toronto Star, on me and my family. My comments related to the fear I had for my family when my longtime neighbor told me that someone was lurking at my fence and appeared to be taking pictures of my family home over the fence.
Yet to come, New Yorkers hope to get lucky buying tickets for the $6.3 million USD lottery. Brown's probation revoked. Continue inspections and partial strike after death at World Cup Stadium in Manaus. Michael Jordan downsizes his life and puts up his Chicago mansion for auction.
Hardly a welcome sight for travelers at New York's LaGuardia Airport. Long lines, canceled flights, and hundreds of people stranded in the season's first winter storm.
I'm trying to get back to Atlanta. My flight was canceled yesterday, last minute, and so now they have me going from here to Miami just to get back to Atlanta, and hopefully I'll get there at 9 o'clock tonight.
Travelers are being forced to wait it out as thousands of flights have been canceled or delayed in the Northeast. Crews are working around the clock to clear the runways after the fierce winter storm dumped heavy snow on the region. For some, it's been a frustrating wait with no end in sight.
Got here an hour and a half before our flight, found out that it was canceled, and then they gave us a 1-800 number to phone. We've been on the phone for 2 hours, and our flight is now departing on Monday, so I think we're going to take the bus.
Unsafe conditions forced flights to be temporarily suspended at New York's JFK Airport Friday morning.
Talk about an A-list sighting. Meryl Streep and Julia Roberts hit the red carpet together in Los Angeles for the premiere of August Osage County. The duo have already received Golden Globe and SAG nominations for their performances and likely are in line for Oscar nods as well. The film opens on December 25th. Chris Brown had his probation revoked by a Los Angeles judge, but he was not taken into custody because of good reports on his progress in a court-ordered rehab program. The probation was revoked after he was charged with assault in Washington, D.C. for allegedly punching a man. The singer was set free without bail and is due back in court in February. Rare recordings of 59 songs by the Beatles went on sale for the first time on Tuesday after Apple Records made them available for download. The songs are from the early 1960s that were previously only available as bootleg recordings. Among the songs available are versions of She Loves You, A Taste of Honey, and There's a Place, as well as outtakes, demos, and live performances recorded for the BBC Radio. Finally, Nirvana is among the 6 new inductees to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. The Seattle grunge band joins the rockers from Kiss, who were also admitted into the organization. An induction ceremony will take place in New York City on April 10th and will include other inductees, Peter Gabriel, Pat Stevens, Linda Ronstadt, and Hall & Oates.
Now sports news from Brazil. Peter?
Thank you, Shauna. In sports news today, continued inspections and partial strike after death at World Cup Stadium in Manaus. Investigators maintained a partial shutdown of construction on Manaus World Cup Stadium on Tuesday as officials continue to investigate the death of a worker there on Saturday, December 17th. Construction was initially shut down on Monday, December 16th, after public prosecutors asked for work to halt pending investigations seeking to guarantee workers' safety after the death of Marceludo de Melo Ferreira, the 5th construction worker to die in stadiums being built to host the 2014 World Cup Soccer in 12 cities. All work off the ground at the Arena Amazonia continued to be postponed as investigators looked into the death of the worker who fell 35 meters, which is 114 feet, while working on part of the roof. Although none of his union workers are currently engaged in the Manaus project, union leader Cicero Custodio stood outside the stadium to say that some workers were striking while others considered joining them. Earlier on Monday, some workers stopped working in protest as they demanded safety working conditions. Manaus is scheduled to host 4 World Cup games in June, including high-profile encounters involving teams from England, Italy, the United States, and Portugal. The stadium is supposed to be ready by January 15, 2014. Custodio said that different safety precautions should have been taken and that the builders are focused on making deadlines, not worker safety. Preparations for the World Cup, the first to be held in South America since 1978, have been plagued by delays, accidents, cost overruns, and public anger over government waste that contributed to massive nationwide street protests last year. It was unclear where the go-ahead to continue the stadium's roof would be given. In other news, Michael Jordan downsizes his life and puts up a Chicago mansion for auction. Want to live like a basketball Hall of Fame legend? Michael Jordan's Chicago mansion could be yours, if you can afford to bid on the 56,000 square foot above. Jordan's mansion has a regulation-sized basketball court, a gentleman's retreat, a full wet bar. Mr. Jordan says he does not need such a big house now that his 3 children are grown up. The former Chicago Bulls basketball star's home was previously for sale for $29 million. Live bidding for the house begins on Monday night, December 16th. Jordan now owns the Charlotte Bobcats NBA team. Back to you, Michelle.
This has been News at 10 this morning. Join us at 3, and on behalf of IHOMA, Peter, and all of our colleagues behind the camera, from the control room and the numerous correspondents who all made this broadcast possible, I say thank you and see you back at 3.